for tuning in to Uncut Gems. I'm Big Jav, and I'm here with Night Like This. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Hey,
How you guys doing?
For having us.
All right, yeah,
Thank
no
you.
problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Casa here. So, introduce yourselves. Let me get your names. What you do in the band as well.
All right.
Yeah, I'm Ryan Brown, and I play guitar.
Backing vocals stuff.
Don't
Sell yourself short.
we do a lot of stuff. I do backing vocals.
Flex. Yeah.
We
what do you do? All of it.
do some percussion elements live that I play. A little bit of percussion. On records, we play bass and some ukulele. Just a little bit of everything, but my main focus is the guitar.
Anthony Balk. I recently joined the band. I guess a year ago now. I'm lead vocalist. I'm not quite as talented, so I don't do all that extra stuff. But yeah.
My name's Evan Snicky. I pretty much do the other half that Ryan does. So live, I do electric guitar, half the songs, and the other half acoustic, and we switch off live. But as far as the recording goes, yep, ukulele, bass, all that stuff, just kind of half and half.
Nice. Cool. All right, so we can see it on the banner there, but name is Night Like This.
Yep.
Where'd you get that name from? What's the origin of the name? Were you anything else before, or you've always been Night Like This?
Oh boy.
We've always been Night Like This. We did get that name probably in the spring of 2017, I think. And we basically wrote down a whole list of names. If I remember correctly, we just wrote name after name and kind of went through them and like, that's kind of good, kind of bad. And then we just kind of narrowed it down, right?
Yeah, there was so we were in the middle of working on our first EP, State of Mind, at the time, and we were getting closer and closer to releasing it, and we had a conversation at one point saying, we still don't have a band name, and we have to have a band name.
So you're already working on a project before you came up with the name.
Yep. That name
into
came
the music.
Came quite a bit after the writing and actually starting the recording phase. But yeah, we just talked and we're like, hey, we need a band name if we're gonna release some music. And
but yeah, we kind of like the idea of the band name where you could abbreviate it into a couple letters. Like bands we listen to, like A Day to Remember is ADTR, This Wildlife is TWL, and so we wanted something kind of along those lines as well, and that was the one we liked most.
Right. The NLT.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah. All right. So, what genre of music do you consider your work to be?
When people ask, I always say it's acoustic-based alternative music, just because any song of ours, there's an acoustic guitar. There's not one song where there's no acoustic, and the core of it, I think, is alternative, but we kind of branch out into different genres, but we keep it acoustic.
Yeah, I like to think that we're probably little pop punk, little emo here and there.
Yep. A lot of influences.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That was my next question. Like, who are some of your major influences that you guys have had that you can think of?
Yeah.
Definitely what Ryan said, A Day to Remember, Neck Deep, This Wildlife,
Blink
182 for sure. Even a little bit of Green Day, older 90s, 2000s inspired.
Paramore.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of my favorite bands.
Right. Okay.
Yep. And it's kind of changed as we've gone along. We've picked up new bands along the way. It's always been changing. Our Last Night is one we were early on influenced by our first EP, and this newest record we picked up found a band called Sleep on It. That's really influential on this next record. So.
Okay. Awesome. So how long have you all known each other?
Since birth.
Yeah.
I know you two
Well,
are
you were
fam. Yeah.
Well, pretty much.
Ryan and I are first cousins. Basically, the reason I joined this band, Evan, these guys have been
how'd you guys meet?
friends for
We've been friends since elementary school, around 6th grade, I think.
About 6th grade.
And
We
I think we were on
rode
the same bus.
Yeah, we rode the
That's how
same
we-
bus, and there was a point where he had like a Green Day American Idiot CD on his Walkman or something
Mhm.
like that, and we bonded over that. Yeah.
Okay, so those are like
2006.
the early beginnings of Night Like This,
Mhm.
then, like
14 years ago.
Yeah, it's
origin
it's a long
story.
time ago.
That was my first concert. American Idiot tour.
Toured on that album.
Yep.
Nice.
So, what inspired you guys to start making music together? You and Ryan and Evan, like.
We always have. We started writing music in 2007, a year after
Yeah.
we met. City of Destruction was our very first song we ever wrote.
That's true.
A couple other friends.
We were in a couple bands throughout junior high through high school, and yeah, we wrote quite a bit of music in that time. And then when we went to college is when we kind of had some time away from each other. But when we came back in 2016, that's kind of when we reunited and started making music for a night like this. So
Okay, so
Sure.
you both started playing guitar, or like electric guitar, or just
Yeah.
acoustic,
Yeah.
or
I started playing acoustic in 5th grade, and I bought my first Johnson acoustic for $100, and that's when I started playing guitar. I think I picked up an electric a little bit after that. I remember I actually bought one of your old electrics, and
That's
But-
when I started playing, 5th grade.
yeah, just played a little of both.
Yeah, I'd say 5th or 6th grade for me. Started on the acoustic,
Yeah.
and then the band needed a bassist, and so I played bass in our first band.
Hmm.
In our first couple bands, actually.
okay. What were those? What were the names of those?
Yeah.
Got to be some interesting names in there.
Uh-huh.
So the very first band was called Stunt Brothers in junior high, and that was me, Evan, and 2 other buddies that we're still close friends with. And yeah, it was the first band, and had a couple songs, like original songs, like
Mm-hmm.
6 or 7 or so, and then we did a lot of covers as well.
Couple raps.
A couple
couple
little side
of-
projects.
Went out of our genre there.
And then I think we moved to Defiant after that. Right?
Yes, yep. We started a band called Defiant, and that was when we became a 3-piece. Ryan and I and another guy, a drummer. And then we changed the name to Shady View Boulevard.
Yep, as we made
and
some
we
changes.
released an EP called Defiant, which was the old band name.
Yeah.
And now we're a night like this.
I
Right.
was in a couple bands in
Yeah.
high school. I started my junior year with Battery, I think was my first one.
Mhm.
Battery.
Battery.
Interesting.
And then In Your Honor was the more refined, I guess, group,
Mhm.
you know. And yeah, hadn't really done anything since, you know, and then ended up joining these guys a year ago and been doing some really big things.
Right. Yeah, and you guys did your first show
Awesome.
together a year ago, right?
Yeah.
In
And where was
January of 2019.
and where was that at?
It's at a place called Vaudeville Muse in downtown Des Moines.
Okay.
It's a venue we've played quite a few times.
Countless.
Yeah. Where else?
Yeah,
you guys,
sure.
Where else you guys performed at?
We've quite a bit places. We do a lot of Des Moines stuff, like Vaudeville Muse is probably the most frequent place. But within the past year, since Tony's joined, we've tried to branch out to some nearby cities: Iowa City, Ames.
Illinois.
Yeah, we were
Illinois.
Fulton, Illinois. Had a great turnout there too.
All right.
It was a good show.
So all these places, what's your favorite venue so far to perform at?
For me, definitely last summer at Lake Panorama
Yes.
in Panora.
the port.
It was the Panorama Days weekend, and that was just
Yep.
I agree.
awesome.
This was.
The turnout was really good. Everybody was really into the music. It was just a really fun show overall.
Yeah.
I agree on that too. I was gonna say vaudeville until you said that, just because we played at vaudeville so many times, and it's just there's a lot of memories there. But as far as the most fun show, definitely was
Yeah.
Lake Panorama.
Absolutely.
All right. So you guys have done a bunch of shows. What are some of the songs that you perform most frequently?
Most frequently. It's always kind of tricky putting together a set list for live shows because we've acquired more and more songs as we've
Right. Let me just
Yeah.
make this easy. What does a typical set list from you look like? Let's just from start to finish. Like, how are you going to try to make them feel? What can I expect if I go to a night like this show?
Okay.
So we usually set up our set list because of the way that the band's arranged, where Ryan plays electric on half the songs and acoustic on the other half, and I do, vice versa. We tend to try to create like these blocks of, Ryan playing electric and then both of us play acoustic. and
So
then
you're
play
so you're
electric.
organized. Like
Yeah,
very, very, very
we have our Google Sheets and all that stuff,
Right.
color coding and all that. So that's kind of the way that we arrange the sets, so that it's kind of specific on how we do that.
But also play to the crowd. You know, you always
You
you're
have to only
gonna
cover.
play, you're gonna play some covers.
Okay. Yeah.
You're gonna appeal to, what people want to hear,
Mhm.
and then, always
Right.
definitely play a lot of original music too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So what are like some of the themes and topics for like most of your songs? What do you guys what's your kind of
Themes
feeling
and
that you
topics.
bring to the table?
So it was just Evan and I for this album, Changes in our EP State of Mind, until Tony joined last year. Like when Evan and I were writing, personally, I think this is our best album with Evan and I that as opposed to State of Mind, like lyrically that reflects like our lives, I guess, like 12 songs, and they all kind of represent a point in our lives and what we were going through at that time. So
yeah, we did a few videos like a year ago on how the songs fit into the seasons, and that's kind of how we wrote the album. Was we wrote it and recorded over a year, and that year that we were together in when I was going to school. At every point in the year, we would write portions of songs, and that would kind of be the influence.
So you all
The season.
write your songs then? You all write songs? There's not like one specific person that's kind of the
Oh no.
writer, or you all?
with this album, it was Evan and I kind of wrote it half and half. Some songs I wrote a little bit of lyrics for, and Evan also wrote a little bit of lyrics for, and there's a couple songs where I wrote all the lyrics, a couple songs he wrote all the lyrics.
Okay. Just whatever is kind of the mood, the feel of the.
Yeah,
Of the song.
we kind of just like write our own thing, and then we get together and we try to piece it all together and make a song out of what we write.
I think the more personal songs, you tend to write a lot of the lyrics yourself.
Yeah, like the songs that are
Yeah.
Likewise.
the songs like where we
I
sing.
mean, yeah,
just
that's
one person.
I wrote Separated and You'll Always Stay, which were definitely
Personally,
pretty
you and
personal.
yeah.
and then
Deep-seated.
and then you wrote
Better Days to Be With You.
So you guys kind of have like your song still, but it's not just one person making everything. It's
Yeah.
just-
yeah.
but then you have your mashups where you guys all come together and do that. But there's always input involved with
Yeah,
everyone. But it's
especially-
just personal. This
Yeah.
is my song. Like I'm going on this feeling, describing this story. Like this kind of like you deal.
Yeah, and we got to do that a lot more with this new record with Tony, because with Tony coming in, we wanted to do him as much lyrics as he could on his own, and kind of see where that takes us to, if it takes us to like a kind of new area.
Right.
But Evan and I, we each actually have one song each where it's just lyrics, all of our own. Then there's a few songs here and there where we contribute a few lyrics, but the rest is mostly you, stuff you've written.
Yeah, and honestly, it's the most music I've ever written, and I actually am very excited for
Alright.
people to hear it.
So what's a typical music making process with you guys? What is that? Can you describe that a little bit for us?
Yeah. So I guess every song's different, but generally we tend to try to write. We always write the instrumentals first. It usually goes acoustic, sometimes electrics, but not as much. Mainly the acoustic is the bass, and we'll write some sort of acoustic riff, Ryan or I, and then we'll get together and we try to form something out of it. And using that acoustic bass, we'll add the electric, and then we'll add, we'll get some sort of foundation from it, and then
Yep.
we'll bring in Tony and try to piece in the lyrics on top of it.
Okay, so you guys like do a set time each week where you guys are setting time apart from your day to work on music, or is it kind of just like a spring of the moment thing?
Sometimes it's kind of like, let's set up this period of time to work on this or do that. But a lot of
You got to.
a lot of like the early stuff, just like the writing and stuff, like we're always writing just for playing guitar for fun. You'll write something, you'll record a voice memo or something, and it will have that, and then might bring it in later to like one of those little writing sessions that we set time aside for.
All right, yeah.
But
Sounds pretty organized, but that's like a challenge that most people have, is kind of setting aside time to do that specifically. They kind of want to go on a spur of the moment thing. So that's a challenge for other people. What are some challenges for you guys as far as like your music making process, or just challenges as a band in general that you've had to overcome?
well, one thing I will say is this new record that we're going to be putting out, the challenges were quite low because we actually all live together for now, and that like made things so much easier. Like we're always all together.
Right.
But as far as like this album and the EP we did before that, Evan was still going to school at Iowa State, and I was graduated and back in Des Moines, and we only had the weekends to work on the music, and that was it.
He would come up every single Friday, get there, I don't know, 9, 10 p.m., and we'd literally work until he got there, or when he got there on Friday night, and we work all the way till 9, 10 Sunday, 9, 10 p.m. Sunday.
Wow.
And then you go home. We did it every single weekend, writing, recording, and this has been a lot less. I don't want to say stressful because that's a bad word, or not a bad word, but I wouldn't consider it stressful. Just it was a little easier,
Right.
You know, working on our own time and not forcing 12-hour days straight.
Okay.
You know,
A little less forced, that's for sure.
yeah.
Right.
I can see that.
So, what's the ultimate direction that you see Night Like This going in?
Ultimate direction. Just, I don't know, just having fun. Like writing this, like the goal right now is just to put out this next record.
Right. You guys seem like you just love being musicians, and that's a great quality to have as a band.
For sure.
So,
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah, we've never been too far on the business side of it. We've
Right.
just
Making some tunes and
enjoyed what we've been doing. And,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
that's
Hey,
nice.
don't get me wrong. Anybody could go viral at any minute.
That's true.
That type
True.
of thing.
But
too,
you guys
so-
seem like you've put in a lot of work and a lot of money, financial, and everything like that into your craft just because you love being a musician so much, and that's great on your part. What do you have, like, any advice for people who are trying to form their own bands or anything like that? Like, because you guys have performed at all these places and you've got all this equipment and you work very hard and you are very structured. Do you think people should focus more on the structure, spontaneity? Like, what do you feel? What's some advice for you guys?
Personally, I'll let you guys say, but I mean, yeah, like I said, we just do it just because it's fun. Like, I'd be playing guitar anyway, even if I wasn't in a band. I'd just be doing that for fun anyway. But like, that's the main reason why we do it. It's just fun for us, and we've learned stuff as we've progressed as a band. But I guess your question was advice for people who
Right. If you could tell them like one thing, what's one main thing that you could tell a person trying to form their own band? What piece of advice would you give them?
I'd say just put yourself out there. Just
Don't
don't
be afraid.
Yeah.
I would say
you know?
write a lot.
Just
That's my.
There are people out there
Yeah,
that
right.
want to create music as much as you do, and
They usually have the most respect for you.
Mm-hmm.
People you play shows with,
Yeah.
they definitely, are there to be there for you.
Yeah, I've learned
You're
that
there
as
for
well.
them as well.
kinda like
it's just
people.
it's kind of a community.
Yeah, definitely.
So-
I can agree with that as well. So how can like fans to be gain access to your music right now? I know you have your album Changes that's out right now, and you have one that's going to come out pretty soon. So how can they reach that?
Yep. So all our music is on most all online streaming platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Google Music, all the big ones.
Social medias.
Yes.
Facebook, Instagram.
Yep.
Twitter.
Yeah.
They're all out there.
YouTube. A lot of videos
Try to
out
post
there.
everything we
Okay.
can.
You guys got any tags you want to plug yourself, shout yourself out? Hey, that's the time to do it.
There we go.
Oh, you got it. Oh, you brought it.
Oh, you brought it.
There's all the
out.
tags right there. Other than
Definitely.
Twitter is actually NLT, band official. And then
mistake,
YouTube is Night Like This, band official. I don't know if that.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
So I'll also post them at the end of the video, so then everybody can get that for you guys as well. And just lastly, is there anyone that you'd like to acknowledge for offering their support, or you got fans out there? Is there anyone you want to say hi to? What's up to? It's gonna be watching this.
No?
You can go down. Say.
Go ahead.
You can go down the line. Yeah.
Shout out.
I got shout outs all over.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to everyone who's came to a show, who has streamed any album, purchased any album, shared anything on social media. Any little thing you do to help us get a little bit more exposure is just awesome.
Amazing. Family.
A lot of family and friends.
Friends.
Thank you.
Thank you. The guys that were there when we had 4 people at the show,
Yep.
those are the people.
Okay. So, anything else you guys want to say? Anything?
We've got a new record coming out
Alright.
in about 2 months, roughly, and wait till you hear it.
Yeah.
All right.
We're
Yes.
excited.
No
Okay.
spoilers.
Perfect. Okay.
No
So
spoilers.
looks like we're wrapping up here. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
No problem. I'm gonna put their links up so you guys can go follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that. All right. Peace.
Thanks.
Thanks.